Hey everyone, in today's video, I'll walk you through how to install Ubuntu Server on VirtualBox, step by step. First, we need to download the Ubuntu Server ISO file. Open your web browser, I am using Microsoft Edge for this demo, and search for Ubuntu Server ISO download. Click on the official Ubuntu website from the search results. You can also find the direct link in the video description. Once you're on the Ubuntu Server download page, scroll down to the Alternative Downloads section. We'll be downloading the Ubuntu Server 22.04.5 LTS version. This version is more stable for VirtualBox, especially since the latest releases sometimes aren't fully supported yet. The download should start automatically. Depending on your internet speed, this could take a few minutes, so hang tight. Once the ISO is downloaded, we'll move on to the fun part, setting up the virtual machine in VirtualBox. At your VirtualBox, click on New to create a new virtual machine. Give your virtual machine a name. I'll call mine Ubuntu Server and choose a folder where you'd like to store the VM files. For the ISO image, click on Browse and select the Ubuntu Server ISO file you downloaded earlier. Then, click on the checkbox to skip unattended installation and proceed to click Next. Now, choose the amount of memory and number of processors to allocate. I am assigning 2048 megabytes, 2 gigabytes of RAM, and 2 processors. Feel free to adjust based on your system specs. Once done, click Next. Select Create a virtual hard disk now and set the disk size to 25 gigabytes. Then, click Next, and finally finish to complete the VM creation. With the virtual machine selected, click Start to boot from the ISO and begin the Ubuntu Server installation process. Once the installer loads, you'll be prompted to select a language. Use the arrow keys on your keyboard to navigate and press Enter to confirm your choice. In this example, I'm selecting English. Next, it will ask whether you want to update the installer. Just press Enter to select Continue without updating. This saves time and avoids potential issues with newer installer versions. The installer will now detect your keyboard layout. If you're using a standard layout, just press Enter to accept the default option. The installer will ask you to choose a base. Leave the default selection Ubuntu Server and enter Done to continue. The installer will now check your network connection. If you're connected to the internet, you'll see your adapter listed. Simply press Enter to proceed with the default network settings. If your network requires a proxy, you can enter the details here. Otherwise, leave it blank and press Enter to continue. Next, you'll be asked to confirm the mirror address used for downloading packages. You can just leave it as default and press Enter. Now, you'll configure your virtual hard drive. Choose Use an entire disk, then press Enter. For the storage configuration, leave it as default and proceed by entering Done and Continue. Now it's time to create your user profile. Enter your name, a server name, a username, and your password. Make sure to choose a strong password. You'll need to enter it again to confirm. Once all fields are filled, press Enter to continue. On the next screen, you'll be asked if you want to upgrade to Ubuntu Pro. Select Skip for now and enter Done. You will also be asked whether to install the OpenSSH server. If you plan to connect to your server remotely in the future, it's a good idea to enable this now. Use the arrow keys to highlight Install OpenSSH server and press space to select it, then hit Enter. Next, Ubuntu will show a list of featured server snaps. These are popular tools and services like Docker, macOS, and others. If you see something you need, you can select it here. Otherwise, scroll down and choose Done, then press Enter. Now the actual installation process will begin. Ubuntu will copy files, install packages, and set up your system based on the options you selected. This part usually takes a few minutes, so feel free to grab a drink while it finishes. Once the installation is complete, you'll see a message saying Installation complete. Press Enter to reboot the system. During the reboot, you might be prompted to remove the installation media. Since we're using a virtual machine, just press Enter to continue the boot. After rebooting, your server will load into the login prompt. Enter the username and password you set earlier. Once logged in, you will see the Ubuntu Server command line interface, and that means you have successfully installed Ubuntu Server in VirtualBox. And that's it. You now have a working Ubuntu Server virtual machine running inside VirtualBox. If you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you don't miss future guides.